Welcome back, wrestling fans, to a moment that shook the WWE Universe to its core at Crown Jewel 2025. Picture this, the lights dim in a sold-out arena, hearts pounding, as The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and the returning Dean Ambrose, reunite in a blaze of brotherhood, betrayal, and raw emotion. This isn't just a nostalgic comeback, it's a gut-wrenching clash of past promises and present pain, where three men confront their demons under the brightest lights. You're about to step into a story that feels like it was ripped from their souls, and you won't look away. The air in Saudi Arabia was electric, but backstage, it was suffocating. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, had been battling whispers of a health crisis, leukemia's shadow looming once more, a secret he'd kept even from his closest allies. His absence had left the bloodline fractured, with family breakdowns tearing at his heart. When Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley in AEW, stepped through WWE's doors again, the locker room froze. His departure years ago had been a betrayal to Roman and Seth, a wound that never healed. Now, standing together, their reunion was less a celebration and more a reckoning. Dean's return wasn't planned, it was born from grief. He spoke in hushed tones backstage about losing friends to the wrestling world's grind, their deaths a quiet ache he carried. Roman's health struggles, whispered about in group chats and locker room corners, hit Dean hard, forcing him to confront the guilt of abandoning his brothers. Seth, too, carried scars. His own betrayal of the Shield years ago still stung, a scandal that had haunted his rise to the top. The trio's reunion at Crown Jewel was a fragile truce, their eyes reflecting a shared history of pain and loyalty. Please like, share, and subscribe for more WWE content. Your support fuels our deep dives into the heart of wrestling's most emotional stories. The moment their music hit, the crowd erupted, a tidal wave of nostalgia and hope. Roman, stoic but weary, led the way, his presence a testament to his fight against illness. Seth, the architect, walked with a guarded intensity, his ambition clashing with his need for redemption. Dean, wild-eyed and raw, carried the weight of his AEW exit, a move some called a scandal, others survival. The fans felt it. This wasn't just a reunion, it was three men staring down their past, fighting for a moment to prove they were still brothers. Their opponents at Crown Jewel weren't just rivals, they were a mirror to the Shield's turmoil. The new generation, led by Braun Breaker and backed by a ruthless faction, had been dismantling legends, their taunts about Roman's health cutting deep. Breaker, with his lineage and hunger, mocked the Shield as washed-up relics, while his allies spread rumors of Dean's return being a cash grab. Backstage, the tension was palpable. Breaker's arrogance clashed with veterans like Kevin Owens, who watched the reunion with a mix of respect and skepticism. The match itself was chaos, a war that felt personal. Roman's spear carried the weight of hospital nights, each hit a defiance of his body's limits. Seth's curb stomp was precise, a release of years of guilt. Dean's reckless brawling, diving into the fray, screamed of a man desperate to reclaim his place. The crowd was on its feet, not just for the action, but for the raw human connection, three men fighting not for titles, but for each other, for the family they'd nearly lost. Backstage, the dynamics were a powder keg. The locker room was split. Some saw the Shield's reunion as a desperate grab for relevance, others as a masterstroke by Triple H to boost Crown Jewel's stakes. Whispers of a scandal swirled. Had Dean's AEW exit been orchestrated, a secret deal to bring him back? Seth faced glares from younger talent, who felt his loyalty to the Shield overshadowed their rise. Roman, meanwhile, was a ghost, his health concerns keeping him distant, even from allies like Jey Uso, whose own family breakdown echoed the trio's struggles. Roman's health crisis was the unspoken heartbeat of this reunion. Zilla Fatu, watching from the sidelines, later shared how Roman confided about sleepless nights, his children's voices on the phone his only anchor. His wife's pleas to retire haunted him as he stepped into the ring, each move a gamble with his future. The fans, unaware of the full story, sensed the gravity. Roman's every glance carried the weight of a man fighting time itself. Dean's return was its own storm. His AEW tenure had been marked by freedom, but also isolation, his departure from WWE a wound he'd never fully closed. Backstage, he faced accusations of betrayal from those who'd stayed loyal to WWE. His reunion with Roman and Seth was tense, late-night talks in hotel rooms, apologies mixed with accusations, as they navigated the grief of lost time. Dean's wild energy in the ring was a release, a way to prove he was still the Shield's heart. Seth, often the strategist, was unraveling. His betrayal of the Shield years ago, turning on Roman and Dean for his own ambition, had left scars that reopened with every glance from his brothers. Backstage, he clashed with producers, his frustration spilling over as he fought to prove his loyalty. The crowd felt his turmoil, his every move a plea for forgiveness, a chance to rebuild what he'd broken. The match's climax was a moment of pure catharsis. Roman's spear on Breaker, Dean's dirty deeds, Seth's Phoenix Splash, they weren't just moves, they were declarations of survival. The pinfall, with all three men covering their foe, was a symbol of unity, fragile but fierce. The crowd roared, tears in their eyes, as the Shield's fist bump reformed, a gesture that felt like a vow renewed under the desert sky. The aftermath was chaos. Breaker, furious, stormed backstage, his shouts echoing through the halls as he vowed revenge. His faction, shaken but defiant, plotted their next move, their ambition undimmed. The Shield, meanwhile, shared a quiet moment in the ring, no words needed, just the weight of their reunion. Backstage, Jey Uso watched, his own rift with Roman a silent ache, a reminder of the family breakdowns still unresolved. Fans took to social media, their posts a mix of awe and debate. Some saw the Shield's return as a triumphant homecoming, others questioned Dean's motives, citing his AEW past as a scandal waiting to unravel. The passion in their words showed why this moment mattered. It was a story of brothers, not characters, fighting through pain to reclaim their bond. The crowd's chants of "Shield" were a collective prayer for healing. The shadow of death loomed large. Roman dedicated the match to Bray Wyatt, whose passing still haunted the locker room. His voice broke as he spoke of Bray's spirit, a reminder that wrestling's highs come with heavy costs. Dean, too, carried the grief of lost friends, his silence in the ring a tribute to those gone too soon. Seth, ever the stoic, let a single tear fall, unnoticed by most but caught by the cameras. Backstage politics added fuel to the fire. Triple H's decision to greenlight the Shield's reunion sparked whispers of favoritism, with younger stars like Dominic Mysterio grumbling about being overlooked. Dean's return stirred its own scandal. Rumors of a secret deal with WWE executives swirled, though he denied it in heated exchanges with reporters.